more of a problem with what the Buffalo Bills decided to do with their fans. Did you hear about that one?
No.
So they said we're going to have full capacity starting in the fall for our season, but in order to purchase a ticket, you have to prove you've been vaccinated.
I mean, that's probably the New York State law. That's probably not on them, to be honest with you.
That's a HIPAA violation.
How's that a HIPAA violation?
Because I have to reveal medical information to you. How is that not a HIPAA violation?
I mean, yes and no, but if it's like you technically have to reveal your medical situation when you get enrolled in school, right? Like you have to prove that your kids have shots. What's the difference?
Because I'm buying tickets to a football game.
Well, then don't go.
I'm not sending my kid to school.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, then if you're concerned about it, then don't go. I mean, that's basically what it comes down to.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's silly. I think it's one of those things where they're like, oh, if you want to go to a game, you've got to get vaccinated. Not only that, but I mean, hell, they just put one of the vaccinations on hold because of issues that they're having with it.
Yeah,
so
boycotts.
Do you blame people for not wanting to get vaccinated? Do you blame people for not wanting to go do the things that they're doing because of the side effects or because they just don't believe in it? Like, I mean, I've said I'll go get vaccinated just because if it'll make it so we don't have to wear masks, whatever,
right.
I'll do whatever we got to do. But if it, like, I don't get the flu shot, so I wouldn't have gotten this shot just because
right.
I don't believe it's that big of a deal. So if everybody else is vaccinated and everybody else has this thing, why do I need to get it?
Yeah, I mean, true, but so first things first, I am playing devil's advocate, Combs. I'm on your side 100%. The only reason why I am even considering getting the vaccine is for three things here: one, to make my wife happy; two, to make my wife happy; and three, to make my wife happy. So just so that is out there, I am doing the only reason why I'm considering it is to make my wife happy 3 times over. But with all that being said, there are side effects.
She's still not happy.
Yeah, she would definitely not be happy until I get 15 of those shots. No, I'm totally kidding. She's a great human being. But with that being said, making something a requirement, it's kind of bogus to me 100%. Just because we live in a world where there's anti-vaxxers, right? Like we basically eradicated the chickenpox. We eradicated some other the older generation. I don't want to point you guys out, but like my mom has that circle, just like on her arm where she got 15 shots in one. That was what was that for? Do you remember, Combs?
That's the that's a TB test, right?
Well,
tuberculosis.
Was it tuberculosis? But
I believe so.
But either way, they put a vaccine out there to eradicate that. So so if they're making it mandatory, why don't we just listen? Just kind of trust the process a tad bit there. Yes, the biggest problem that I have with the whole COVID vaccine is that it was pushed out way too fast. Let's be flat out honest. Let's flash back to the Trump administration here. People said there is no way we're going to have a vaccine by January, right? Well, Trump made it happen. So with that being said, why were they saying, there is no way it could happen, but all of a sudden when Biden takes office, it's it is here.
Know,
but
it's crazy. And then Tory says, so if you wash your hands and we are eating the same appetizer basket, why should I wash my hands? Yours are clean. Saying, why should I have to get the vaccine?
That's a great point.
I get what you're saying, but I just don't understand some of these things that they're doing. Let's take my stepdaughter's volleyball, per se. She goes to volleyball. All the players have to wear their mask, right? While they're on the court. But they're all hitting the same sweaty ball.
You're right.
And not only that, but then you hear there's just so many different things. I don't get it. I think that there's whatever it is, what it is. The numbers are what they are, and we're all going to have to get the vaccine in order to do anything. You're going to need it to go to work. You're going to need it to go to school. You're going to need it to apparently buy football tickets. So we're all just going to have to suck it up, get the shot, and prove that we have it if we want to leave our house at some point.
Yeah. So Cindy and I are going on vacation for our anniversary here in June, and to even to buy airline tickets, we had to prove that we're getting vaccinated or got the vaccination. So, I mean, like
Nana says that shot from your mom is polio.
Yep.
She said she had that scarlet too.
Yeah. So, I mean, like obviously polio is a little different than COVID. Like I don't know exactly what polio was, but it was like I think it paralyzed you, right, Combs, or something like that. Like it was.
I think so. I think it. I mean, there were a lot of bad effects with the polio, and there were a lot of Look, we've come a long way from where we were when polio was an issue, and we've come a long way from where we were when mad cow disease became an issue, and all of this other stuff. I just feel like it is somebody's right to do whatever they need to do. Like me myself, like Michelle said, oh, I should go get the shot to make her happy. Well, joke's on her. I'm just not eligible yet. Like I'm on the waiting list. I'm just not eligible. I'm not important enough to go get vaccinated.
Wait,
which is another thing that I find very, very silly.
Aren't you 40 now? You should be eligible for like everything, like your AARP card, your getting dinner at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, that's the other thing that I find interesting is that I get it. There are people who are more susceptible to it, but if the whole goal is to get everybody to go get a shot, why don't you just make it eligible for everybody? And if you get a spot, you get a spot, and if you don't, you don't. But the next person gets in line. I get that there are other people that need it more than other people. Mm-hmm. I understand that. But what you're telling me in that point is that this thing is so deadly, and I'm putting up air quotes for those of you listening on the radio. This thing is so deadly that if you get it, you're at real risk. And this or that can happen. You don't know, you could end up with this or that.
Yeah.
So what you're telling me is that just because I'm healthy and I don't have any underlying conditions, that my life isn't as valuable as somebody else's, so they need to get vaccinated first.
Yeah, I mean, like if you want to think logically here, shouldn't the healthy people get vaccinated first, so the strong don't get weeded off?
Dude, I don't know, man. We've gone off track like this. I get so frustrated talking about this stuff because I really want to go off, but that's not what this show is about. So.
Well, see, Combs, what is so special about the Man Hour is we mix real life in with sports, and COVID has been a real life issue now for a almost a year and a half, because it started over in China back in November of 2019. So
how about the 40,000 cases that they found of people dying by COVID that were admitted to the hospital with life-threatening bullet or knife wounds? But they died because of COVID because, the COVID enhanced the wound, apparently.
Well, do you want to know the real reason why they died because of COVID? This is coming...
more money.
Yeah,
in the hospitals.
This is coming straight from a hospital executive. I'm going to keep them nameless. A hospital nameless, just like as well. But they got $30,000 extra dollars for every COVID death that they had during the quote pandemic time. So, and every time somebody got put on a ventilator, it was like an extra $50,000. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, anytime you give people more money to do something, they're going to do it. Look, if you told me that if I contracted COVID, you would give me an extra $50,000, I'd be out there at grocery stores licking cans. Like I'd see somebody pick up a can and put it back on the shelf. I'd go lick it. Can I get tested now?
You are ridiculous on that aspect.
Man Hour Nation.
Wow. So
thank you for checking out that clip. If you're interested in watching the full show, the link is in the description. Click on it, hit that like button, share it with a couple friends, and as always, Man Hour Nation,
rise up.